Hello class, this is Professor Satterwhite and I want to give you a very brief video about the upcoming midterms. So a couple things that are important for you to remember are, first thing, I think the most important thing, is that although the deadlines have been essentially thrown out the window for all of the other papers that are coming up, the midterm is the one exception to that. The midterm we are doing this week. If you remember, I extended the deadline, pushed it back another week, but this is the week where we're doing the midterm. So you'll take the midterm anytime between Wednesday and Saturday. So if you want to start the midterm at 1 in the morning on Wednesday, then you're free to do so. And if you want to wait until the last minute on Saturday, you're free to do so as well. Just keep in mind that you have 1 hour and 15 minutes, and that's it for the midterm. So as soon as you press start, it's on. All right, the time's moving, clock's going. So be prepared to take it. This is an open book exam, so you can have your book handy. I don't mind if you have it right next to you while you're taking this, and that's perfectly fine. But with any open book exams, you're always going to want to make sure that you're prepared for this beforehand. So if you've done the reading, then you should be fine with this. So a couple things, a little housekeeping I want to make sure that you know before you start the exam, and this helps me out, is if you go onto the discussion section of our Canvas page, we haven't really done this yet in our class, but we will be doing a little bit more of this coming up. So on the discussion page, there's one section where it says, and this is on the left-hand side of our Canvas page. Again, on the discussion section, there's one that says midterm exams. I want you to go on there, and all I want you to do is tell me how you are taking the test. I need to do this for two reasons. One, to see if I should anticipate any problems, and two, so I can make sure that you're here. I've gotten word from a number of you, but not from everybody, so I want to make sure that you're with us, that there aren't any problems, you don't anticipate any issues, and we can move forward with the exams without any problems. So look over that. It's going to ask you, all I want you to do is write that you're taking it on a PC, that you're taking it on a laptop, that you're taking it on a tablet, a cell phone, or whatever. And if there's any issues that you anticipate problems with, whether it's connectivity to the internet or anything else, then I want you to let me know ahead of time. I need you to let me know as soon as possible, email or on the message board as soon as you can, so we can prepare for an alternate plan for you. It'd be preferable if you email me though. That way we can go ahead and start with the preparations for whatever else we can do. But outside of sending a carrier pigeon to pick up your midterm in its tentacles, in its claws, then we can, I can probably accommodate just about anything. So anyway, just let me know though. All right, so the next thing I wanted to do is to let you know about the study guide. So you've probably been on the study guide already. A few of you have asked about that. It's posted on e-learning. Look over that. The big thing to remember is that you are only answering one question. There's 4 questions on there, isn't it? 4 questions, possible prompts that you'll have, and you are going to answer only one of them. But you're not going to know which one until the time to take the test. So I want you to prepare for all 4 of those, and then when you open up the exam and the clock starts ticking, then you'll be able to answer those right away. So the best thing that you could do is to prepare for it ahead of time. And I'm going to give you the prompts right now. So the prompts are, you're going to describe the roles women in Fitzgerald, here's possible prompts, I should say. 1. Describe the roles women in the Fitzgerald, Vandermeer, and Parker's work. So describe the roles women play in these works. So that'll be one of the possible topics that you write about. Women play different roles in all of those works, and it's important to note that Dorothy Parker, of course, is the only woman who's writing this. So there's differences in the voice and differences of the presence of women in these texts. So that would be something to possible question. That would be a possible question. Another one, number 2. Compare and contrast the ways in which women are written about by Vandermeer and Fitzgerald. So when you're looking at that, when you look at the question itself, I want you to think about this. So I'm sorry, I said Fitzgerald, but I meant Parker. So look at the ways that Vandermeer, again, as a man, is writing about all these women who are running through the jungles of Florida versus Parker, and how Parker writes about these women. Which one's more believable, which one's not, so write about this and decide for yourself, how these stories, how they compare to each other. So Next one, describe the role class plays into Fitzgerald and Parker's work. As you remember from our discussions on Fitzgerald, we talked a lot about class, like a whole lot about class. If you're taking notes, you should be okay. If not, brush up on that stuff, and you should be fine. Class plays a big role in Fitzgerald's work, but it's also a really big role in Parker's work as well. And in particular, I'm thinking of the stories of Arrangements in Black and White and Clothed and Naked. But there's other places where class plays a role in her stories. So be prepared for that. And then the last possible prompt is describe how race figures into Fitzgerald and Parker's work. Race plays a pretty decent role in Fitzgerald's work. It wasn't described and talked about as a novel that is surrounded by race in previous years, but now we're taking a lot more closer look at this work, and it's clear in a number of places that race is a really big aspect of the story. Race, and we look at race and ethnicity, immigration, etc., as being parts of that. So we have that, and then Parker's work too. Again, looking at the stories, Arrangements in Black and White and Clothed and Naked, are two obvious places where race plays in. But there's other ones too where both of those figure into the text. So these are the 4 prompts that you'll have. You'll see one of them. You don't know which one yet, but you'll see one of them, and you'll answer the one. So my suggestion to you would be to get your books. And try and find the places in the text where all of those questions are being talked about, or where you think you'll write about. Think of the quotes that you're going to use. This is an essay that's going to be between 250 and 500 words. If you have quotes lined up already, then that shouldn't be a problem for you. You'll just have to transcribe the quotes, type them up. But if you have all the stuff ready to go, then you should be fine. Take notes and also write up a sketch outline for what you're going to write about. Have that handy and prepared, so when the time comes, then you can go ahead and answer the prompts. And again, it's going to be 1 hour and 15 minutes, just like our class. It'll be the same thing as us taking an essay inside the classroom itself. And there's no literary terminology on this at all. I originally planned to do that, and that was going to be part of the section, but instead, all of it's going to be on this one essay. So what I'm basically asking you to do is the same thing that I've asked you to do from the beginning of the class. You're writing one good, solid, strong paragraph. Think of the topic sentence at the beginning, working as your thesis. Think of the quotes in there. The quotes are going to be answering your thesis, proving your argument, and then lastly, coming to a conclusion. And you'll be able to build a solid conclusion, proving that you made your argument. And again, as always, if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm happy to help you however I can. And lastly, I just hope that you're all doing well in all of our self-imposed quarantines, or all of our in our new normal. So anyway, my thoughts are with you, thoughts are with your families, and I just hope that you're doing well. All right, take care, and let me know if you have any questions or problems. Please be in touch.